Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got no headlines. We're going to go all TA today because we all know what day it is. It is FOMC day, so that means we're going to look at some assets, see where things might go, see where people might get wrecked, going both ways, because, we've got a little bit of some double topping action on a few assets, but with the way things are looking, it does look like you might get that little bit of a continuation to the upside, grab a little bit of money up at the top, and then there's definitely some bottom side targets that are of some interest to me on a few assets. So we will be having a special guest coming on here in just a second. He had to go grab some coffee, so stay tuned. He'll be sliding on in here in just a second. But while we wait on him to show up, let's get you prepped for some success today. I've got that stock heat map pulled up like always, and we are seeing just a little bit of some green stepping on in here this morning. We've got Apple closed to the downside in that neutral range yesterday, down 0.19. Looking to the upside this morning, 0.95. We've got Nvidia also closing to the downside yesterday in that neutral range, down 0.25. Getting some upside movement this morning in that pre-market, up 0.48% right now. Got Berkshire Hathaway also sitting in that neutral range off of its close. Neutral but green, up 0.04%. So just a smidgen there. Looking to the upside this morning, outside of that neutral range, up 0.64. We've got Amazon looking to the downside off of its close, 0.72. But in the pre-market, seeing some nice buying pressure, stepping on in, up 1.01% right now. We've got Eli Lilly, which got smacked around extra hard yesterday, sitting to the downside of 5.64%. In the pre-market, seeing a lot of buying pressure stepping on in though, up 1.66. We've got ExxonMobil also looking pretty green off of its close, up 1.39. In the pre-market, continuing to see some upside pressure coming on in, up 0.45. We've got Tesla also looking a little bit red off of its close, but seeing that buying pressure stepping on in this morning, sitting up 1.35% in the pre-market. We've got P&G looking in that neutral range. It's sitting up 0.26 off of its close, sitting up 0.19 in the pre-market. We've got Microsoft, which was sitting to the downside from its close, 0.66, looking in that neutral range with some buying pressure, up 0.27. We've got Google sitting up 0.61 in the pre-market. And to wrap that on out, we've got Meta sitting down 2% off of its close, but really seeing that buying pressure stepping on in here, up 0.66%. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things because we are seeing quite a bit of green on that daily. We've got LTC up a whopping 13.5% right now. Let's scroll it on down and get through those assets. We've got Bitcoin sitting up 3% on the daily, Ethereum up 2.8, It did falter just a bit short of that $2,000, so we'll kind of have to see if we get that continuation to the upside this morning before FOMC. We've got XRP sitting up 2.5, BNB up 1.6. We've got Solana up 2.9%, Dogecoin up 4.1, Cardano up 4.6. We've got Tron up 0.4, Sui up 4.4. We've got Chainlink up 4.1. We've got Avalanche up 1.4. Stellar Lumens taking a spot from Leo token on that market cap, up 2.6, while Leo token is up 0.3. We've got Shiba Inu up 3.4%, taking a spot from Toncoin. Toncoin sitting up 1.4%. We've got HBAR up 3.7%. Bitcoin Cash holding steady on that 19 with that upside movement of 4.4%, and Hyperliquid up a whopping 8% right now. Looks like my guest said his camera is not working, so hopefully we can get something worked out on that, because I know we've talked quite a bit about having him on here. So let me shoot him a quick message. All right, let's hop over to those fear and greeds, because we are still sitting in greed right now. We've got the stock market ticking up a whole nother point, 58, and greed. We did see some continued sell off, so might be seeing a little more take profit stepping on in on the TradFi side of the market. We'll kind of have to see though if the morning is more just a wreck bulls, wreck bears, as everyone prepares for that FOMC. Kind of leaning towards some downside action after the FOMC, but a lot of that's going to be about what Jerome Powell says. We've got the crypto side of things up 8 points after that nice solid move to the upside last night. We're sitting at 67 and greed. It does look like I've got my guest making his way on. Let me get you all shared there and swap over to that screen share with the both of us. Good morning, Trade Intuition. How are you doing so far?
Doing good. Wide awake. Let's go.
Oh yeah. I apparently you've been up all night, so I don't know how you do it. I couldn't if I wanted to. I'd be so grumpy right now.
Yeah, I really don't want to. It's just sometimes it happens. So do what I can. Get back into the charts and see if we can make some money.
Well, that's definitely what we're prepping everyone with today. So let me get through that heat map. We'll say good morning to the chat, because, we all know what today's data is. It's FOMC. It's going to be at 2 Eastern. And then we'll have Jerome Powell's speech, seeing who he really wants to screw today, with what kind of lingo he uses. Does he talk about the job market? What is he prefacing on that inflation? Is he going to mention Trump and the little bit of a battle they had, and why he's not going to be cutting rates and why he's going to be holding steady? We'll just have to wait and see, because I think if he pokes at Trump, you might see a bigger dump. But that's just my two thoughts. I'm not a professional analyst or anything. I'm just here for the drama and making money. So we got some nice liquidity on the downside for Bitcoin, sitting at that 93,300 range. We talked about that coming into this week. We cleared out all of that topside liquidity that we've been talking about for quite a while, that had that range from 95,100 all the way to 96,000. All of that topside liquidity is now gone. We did make that nice sweep above all of it. So I do think we will start seeing some liquidity piling up to the top side. Is that BC really low? I will talk lower. I don't know what's been going on with my mic. I had to switch it back over to my NVIDIA broadcast this morning, so I don't know what happened. I'm going to have to go in there in my PC settings and actually get some things changed around. I might do that when I throw it on over to you there, Joe. I'll let you do some Bitcoin TA first, and then I'll get some things adjusted. We've got that 1 week with a lot of downside liquidity, as we had talked about, that potential of topside liquidity starting to pile on up, which might drive the market to continue to the upside just a little bit this morning. You're seeing some of that start piling up. We've got some liquidity at 98,100. So if we do get that quick move to the upside, that would be the target I'd be looking for. We've got that downside target still on that 2 week at 93,200. So a lot of liquidity sitting down there. Almost $200 million, and that's just on Binance. So I would assume that there's a lot of liquidity and the market in general sitting to the downside in that area. Let's hop over to the Bitcoin chart and say good morning to the people real quick. Actually, Joe, do you want to pull up your Bitcoin chart, and I will get my mic adjusted in the background, and then we can go over you go over your Bitcoin, and then I will go over my Bitcoin TA, so we can be a little more level on that volume.
All right. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. I'm not talking my normal level, so hopefully, because I know there is a huge discrepancy from my voice and yours, so hopefully, it's good. So let me know when I'm. Is this my chart?
Yep, you are all pulled up, sir. How to get that screen share pulled up for you.
All right. All right, so we're looking at Bitcoin. This is on the 4-hour time frame. It's always best to zoom out before zooming in. I'm still waiting for the retrace. I've been waiting for the retrace. And some of the key levels that we're looking at for us to potentially go down is right around 92.2. So 92.2, that is the level that I'm looking at. Of course, we do have the price. It's just getting so much FOMO right now, and the market makers continue to push it up, and people keep on buying it up. All these levels are from previous cycles, and that's one thing I strongly recommend. Go to the daily or even the weekly, and you can do these levels based off of the previous cycles, and you'll be amazed at how well they get respected. But going back to the 4-hour time frame, let's go ahead and just look at this. So how's the level, guys? A lot better. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not speaking the normal. I'm like at a 4, maybe 5 right now. It's almost like a one screen. But when we're looking at this, we do have this trend line, and the price got rejected from it, broke above, then came back down, creating a bull trap. And now it's respecting this blue level, which is from the previous cycles. And it's balancing on this, is dancing with it, really. I was not expecting it to come up. I really thought we were going to come down first before potentially tricking all the traders to where we come up and then make a higher high, trapping everybody, doing another bull trap, and then now coming down. Now, for me personally, I do not want to create a bias of we have to come down, we need to come down, because the price, it can do whatever it wants. It doesn't need to do anything. We would like for it to come down so it could be a healthier move. Whenever we have price going up, we want to see price retrace about 38 to maybe 50% before the continuation. It doesn't have to happen. It just makes it that much stronger. Here we can see on the 4-hour time frame, price went up, sideways, shot up, and then instead of retracing, again, it can do whatever it wants. It started going up some more, up and to the right. Did our bull trap, came back down, coming up here, possibly doing a lower high. But we do have that Fed meeting, not the FOMC meeting today in the conference at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. So today is a really difficult day. If you're going to be trading, be very, very careful, because the first 15 minutes of either the meeting or the conference, it could potentially push it one way just to trick you and then go the other way. But we still have a few hours for that. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this, and I would really personally like to see the price come down just because it's moved up so much. And I really want to see it break below this level. With today being the FOMC conference, it could. Today's tough. I'm not going to lie. Today's tough. We could come all the way up here to our blue level, which is right around 99, before potentially maybe getting the news of the results or the conference, and then it may be dumping. So if you don't need to be in a trade, I don't recommend being in a trade. If you are in a trade, I'd recommend, of course, moving up your stop loss, hopefully in profit, taking some profit if you're in profit, and that's what I got on that. So right now it's limbo, really. I want to see it come down below this, but right now I'm just waiting.
Well, that's definitely a great analysis there. Is that volume a little bit better on my end for everyone?
Dude, now I can hear you.
Okay,
So
good.
now I'm speaking higher, so hopefully the voices match.
Yeah, it was I don't know what's been going on. My PC got a whole update. Let me get myself pulled back up there. There we go. Yeah. I had a whole update on my PC on some software, and it changed around a whole bunch of my mic settings. So I run my mic through NVIDIA Broadcast, but it changed the actual mic settings on my Yeti back down to like 35. I don't know why that's like the base setting for the Yeti, but like it needs to be around like 60 if you really want to be able to hear me at all. So
Right.
yeah, I'm glad I got that one fixed there. We do see a little bit of some double top in action, but like I said, there's a lot of liquidity stacking up towards the top side of things. You do have money flow on that daily, which we had talked about getting that curve towards the downside. Looks like it's maintaining this zero line quite nicely here. It is getting that curvature back up. You can really tell that that was stepping on in here from this big green candle. You know, that is a daily candle, and that's a lot of money flow coming on in here. So we are looking to see if we can continue this trend, hold up this 236, which I've talked about quite a bit here going into this week. That's that $96,000 mark. That was our resistance area, which you are looking at trying to hold. We do have your MACD and your indicator line running in tandem here as we're trying to see what kind of direction these market makers really want to send things. There is liquidity on both sides. So like Joe was saying, be a little careful because things can really go both ways here. You're seeing this daily prime oscillator getting that curvature back towards the upside, but it is sitting in the red. So that is something to keep in mind. Your volume has been slowing down just a little bit. So if you do see some exhaustion start coming on in here, which we're seeing with this indecision candle that's started to print here, a little bit of some exhaustion on some top side action. Let's zoom it on in. Take a look at the hourly because we do have quite a few assets that have been requested already this morning. So we want to get through as much as we can for the morning. You've got that hourly looking quite similar as you do see this giant red candle pushing back down towards that 236. You're getting a lower top here on the hourly as you're starting to print some red candles with money flow trying to make its way back into the green, looking like you're getting a little bit of a curvature on that back towards the downside. So we'll have to see if this 236 holds up as support today. That'd be that key area I'd really look at least for the morning, because there's a lot of liquidity that is stacked up right below these levels. And you can really tell that with how well it held up on support. People are going to put their stop losses right below the low of the range, coming in at that 236 and that $96,000. So I will be watching my short-term money flow. We've been watching that all week to kind of see if it counteracts some of that higher term money flow. You did see a lot of red money flow on your higher term time frames. So we will be watching that on about the 5 minute this morning to really see if we start pushing up with some nice positive money flow. You've got that 15 minute in the morning really looking like you might be dropping below our VWAP, which is trying to hold up as support right now, but your money flow's starting to come out. You do see us faltering just a bit below the low that we saw from last night. So we'll kind of have to see what kind of continuation bounce we can get at that $96,000 mark. We do have all of that liquidity still piled up at that key level Joe was talking about on his chart, which is that $99,000 mark, and that's a 3-month liquidity zone. So there's quite a bit of liquidity there, and Piper has talked about that area as well. So if you get that nice 236 hold up this morning, look for some upside at about that $99,000 mark. All right. We did have a few alt requests, Joe. So I've got ADA pulled up. LTC was on the list. We've got Caspa on the list. So which one of those would you want to grab?
Anyway, just give me one of them.
All right. Well, you check out LTC, and I will dive into ADA because I had that one pulled up from yesterday, and it bounced right at some key levels I had talked about yesterday, which I was quite happy to see. You know, me and Jesse were talking about that in your chart, in your show just a little while ago. So we did see all of these lower highs coming on in with some nice equal lows. I did talk about the potential for a sweep of some bottom side liquidity. We dropped just a little bit below my target, which was 64,829. The lows ended up being 64,36. So, you know, you're talking about less than a penny target. So, I'd say that's pretty decent there. I did say look back up towards the upside at about 68.9. And that's exactly where we wicked off of and rejected to hold up this 67-cent mark. Nice area for ADA to really hold up here. We are going to zoom this on out. Take a look at that 4-hour because that's going to show us just a little bit more information here. And you are starting to see your volume really kicking back up here. And this is what you want to see if you're trying to hold up these key levels. You want to see that buying pressure stepping on in now that we've really confirmed 67 all over again. After we wicked out all of this bottom side liquidity, I would look to try to make that push back up towards 70 cents, especially if you do see Bitcoin go up and grab that 99. You do have your MACD, which is sitting above your indicator line here with some nice solid strength towards the upside. Prime oscillator, not as pointed towards the upside as your MACD is, but it's sitting very solidly green. So if we do see that continuation of money flow here on the 15 minutes after a bit of some cool off, because it does look like ADA needs to cool off just a little bit here, we do have some nice equal highs at about 68 cents that I would potentially look at. It was the stalling point on this upside target. We did retest that before we really dropped back down, found some of our moving averages as some strong support. Looks like that's going to be the 50 there that we really held up, and we're looking like we're stalling out just a bit as you're starting to see a little bit of some exhaustion and some wicks towards the top side of these candles. The MACD getting that rollover here on the 15-minute. Your prime oscillator also getting that rollover. True 7 sitting red and pointing towards the downside, so we're really going to wait on some clip-in action on that. Probably going to see 2 reversal signals pop up before you really see that money flow stepping in with some strength around that 68-cent point. We did retest that here when we got that slight pullback and continuation towards the upside. So I'd really want to see that confirmed as some strong support all over again. If not, 67 cents looks quite strong. I will toss that over to you to look at LTC, and I will get Caspa pulled up.
Awesome. So we have Litecoin, and so for Litecoin, this is on the daily time frame, and I like having my charts like this. I'm just going to show you some of this stuff because BC Port Corp is showing some indicators. Like, man, mine's like super quick. I can finish mine in like 10 seconds. But BC, man, I need to start listening to you. You are very eloquent when you're talking about your charts. So I do need to start waking up early so I can do this. But we're looking at the daily time frame. We can see that we're at resistance right at 94.38. We do have this really nice support zone between 79.06 and 74.25. And this zone right here, we're looking at this to be about 20%. So it's nothing crazy. We can actually trade in this if we do pull back, which there's a pretty good chance that we might if Bitcoin pulls back. A lot of coins right now, they are following Bitcoin every single step it takes. So be very careful with that. If your coin is looking like it's going to find support, but Bitcoin's at resistance, your coin might reverse and go down. So be very careful with that. Looking at the daily time frame, we're right at resistance. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see more of the price action. And with this, it's always woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I could have entered here. I should have done this. But when the price was breaking this level, and what I do is I trade level by level. When the price was breaking this level, this is when it would have been a nice time to enter. But since we're not here and we're here right now, we're just kind of looking and seeing what already happened, price, and we're looking at the candles, candle bodies, candle wicks, and the momentum of the candles itself. Here we can see it's building strength. It's going up, higher highs, higher lows, kind of starts rolling over, had the opportunity to come all the way down here. There was a lot of buyers right in this area because this is a nice area of liquidity where the price could have gone to, but it didn't. And instead it reversed, broke this level, continued up, and then now the liquidity started getting taken up by all of this price action coming down. We had a really nice bounce here, and if we do this magnet tool on, we have this wick and then this wick right here, and you can see if we zoom in that the price action came and it got greedy, taking up all this liquidity and then some. Then it bounced up. Now, as far as the bounce, could anybody see this? Not really. What if you had indicators? Do I see any divergence? I don't see any divergence. Everything looks good. No divergence. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. And let's see here. For this pump, I don't see there's nothing. There's no reason for the pump. It just pumped. It was following Bitcoin at the time, more than likely, and it just broke up. Now, this is why whenever I trade, I'm trading by levels. If it breaks the level, into the trade. If there's divergence, even better. But these are the levels I'm looking for. And then it just moves. Now, what do I think might happen here, especially since we're at resistance? I think we might come down. Why? Well, we move so much. And whenever we're looking at prices, we want to see price go up and come down at least 38%, maybe 50%, before it continues going up. And this is a healthy move when it does this. When it goes straight up and then does this number, there's an extremely high chance it's going to break the level and then come down to potentially those 38 to 50% that we're just talking about. So one thing I like doing is I like using the fib retracement tool. Make sure the magnet tool is on, coming down to the absolute bottom of the move, coming up to the top. And for this Litecoin, I do see it potentially. Let me go ahead and do this level as well. Magnet tool on. This is the level I'm going to be watching for a short. Now, the short may be short-lived because, well, if Bitcoin pumps, then this one, it might take this and the other coins with it. But what I'm doing is I'm looking for a break of 91.08. If we do break, and of course I'd have an alert underneath this, the alert goes off. I check the 15-minute time, make sure the candle closed underneath this. And then what we might see is it come down to the 382 before a possible reversal, if not at least the 0.5 for a nice continuation of this upward movement. But would I look to go long right now? Sure wouldn't. Why? We're at resistance. Not only that, we moved up very nicely already. It'd be healthy if we get a retrace. So for this one, I would definitely set an alert below the price. And the alert I'm looking at is roughly right around 90.46. Now, in reference to going up, what I do not want to see is I do not want to see the price maybe come down, then come up, then come down, then come up. I don't want to see this because to me, this is, even though it looks strong, because it had a barely any kind of retrace, when it does roll over, because it will, more than likely, nobody knows, but when it does roll over and it breaks the low, expect a very nice sharp retracement to about 50% of this entire move, not 38, maybe 50% of the entire move, which might be around here, about 88.71, before potentially going up. Then, of course, once it breaks the level, you can enter the trade there. If you want, you can enter it down here right around 90.19 if this is the area it bounces from. So that's my TA on Litecoin. Oh, yeah, forgot. Look at the bottom. Nothing that I see down here. Let's see here. Nope, I don't see nothing. So I'm not used to looking at indicators. So I gotta see. Wait,
and I just like a few simple indicators. I know you're not the biggest fan of them all the time, but I like to see my momentum indicator and my speed indicator, which is why I use that prime oscillator instead of the RSI. That RSI, it's nice, but I really liked the smooth outness of that prime oscillator. Plus, the prime oscillator also shows me that volume and that money flow. If I'm just taking a quick glance at the chart, it really helps instead of trying to scroll back and be like, okay, so what's the size of all these candle bodies? Because I'm a working man, and I drive an off-road dump truck right now. So it makes it really easy to just do a quick glance, be like, okay, well, volume's going up, money flow's coming down. Might see some exhaustion instead of trying to be like, let me zoom in. What are these candles? Oh, dang. No, I just messed up that. All right. Well,
I will admit though, Chart Prime, it's a cheat sheet. It's a cheat code. It really is. I do have that on, and I usually don't show it. I'll show it every once in a while, but to me, it's a cheat code, and I want to be on top of my game. But yeah. Strongly recommend it, of course. Links in the description. But yeah, it's I like that one. I like the MACD. The RSI I don't use too much, but for the momentum, I do like it.
It's helped me out quite a bit. I used to use RSI religiously, and that prime oscillator took that position extremely quickly just because of how clean it is, how smooth out it is. You're like, sometimes that RSI will really give you that nice fake out if you haven't smoothed out your RSI. So I I like the confluence that it gives me with those three different kinds of indicators on that prime oscillator. We did have Casper requested. I think we've got time for about two more assets. If y'all want to drop something in the chat for me and Joe to look at. We did see Cass make a little bit of an upside move on that 10-cent zone. It has been an area of interest for Caspa over and over. It held up quite nicely back here, held up quite nicely here, held up quite nicely here as well. So that's why I've got that nice green horizontal area. When we dropped below it, we came down and we got our nice platinum pocket bounce on a retracement. So looking to maintain our golden pocket now after we've cleared out all of this top side liquidity and got that move back above our golden pocket. We did maintain these highs from back here when we got that nice retracement back down towards the golden pocket. So looking a little bit healthy for Caspa right now. It's been quite a while since I've looked at it, so might have to do a little bit of some trading on Caspa here now that it's back in a little bit of a different trend, especially since it was such a nice thing to trade on. It really maintained channels quite nicely last time I was trading it. So I might start taking a look at Caspa and dropping some Caspa trades in our Discord. So if you haven't joined our Discord yet, take a look at that. The link's in the description. If you become a YouTube member, $4.99. There's a lot that you're going to get with that. DCA strategies, classes that we do weekly. We just did one last night. We had Joe on as a guest talking about price action. So if you're not there, you are missing out. $4.99. It is a massive deal. We do have this golden pocket holding up here on the hourly. We did make some nice equal highs here that we have now swept above. Grab some top side liquidity there on a shorter term time zone. And we're really looking to see if money flow continues here. We've got your volume starting to increase. We do have a bit of a resistance area towards the top side of us. Let me get that horizontal ray drawn out on a short term time frame. So hopefully this shows up as like a 2 and not a 4. Yeah, showed up as the 2. All right. So we've got that being our short-term resistance area to look at. This is the highs from over here. We did try to maintain this area after we got that pullback and we lost it quite quickly. So saw that golden pocket hold up, and now we're going to look to see if this area is going to be resistance or if we can get above it and turn it into some support. Let's zoom it on in, see what that 15-minute is bringing our way. If it's looking like everything else, it might be needing a little bit of some cool off. We do see your MACD looking like it's getting that nice curvature back towards the upside here. Your prime oscillator getting some curvature as well, but it is sitting red, as we do see all of these wicks on the top side of these candles after we got that slight pullback, looking like some exhaustion is coming in here on some Caspa. So I might look at that 9-cent range to be a little bit of a resistance area for the morning. See a nice little pullback down to about the highs from here to try to see that hold as some support. This is going to be a key level just like 67 cents was on ADA the other day. This is what the area that we're trying to maintain right now. If we do see that continuation of money flow this morning, I would look back up toward that 9-cent range before we really get that strong pullback down. We'll kind of have to see what Bitcoin does this morning, because I do have that upside bias for the morning before we really see that sell off. So I didn't see any other assets requested. You got something to show the people before we wind it on down and head over to that morning motivational video?
Say that last part again.
The morning motivational video. You got one more asset to show the people before we head over there?
No, not really.
All right, then I will swap it back over to my screen, and we're going to take a look at gold, because I've talked quite a bit about gold. I know you've talked quite a bit about gold as well. We got that nice push above our platinum pocket here on a fib extension. We didn't get back up towards our all-time highs. It's not that worrisome. We did get a nice healthy retracement after our all-time highs. We did maintain one of those key areas I was looking at. We're looking like we're getting a bit of a rollover here as money flow has started to stagnate just a bit on gold. But that doesn't mean that it's going to stop here. You've got plenty of room to run to the upside here on a 15-minute, looking like you're heading back up. You've got your exhaustion coming on in here on your 1 hour, seeing all these strong wicks stepping on in above that golden pocket on our fib extension. So looking like that MACD and prime oscillator are both getting that curvature back towards the upside as your higher term time frames maintain positive money flow here. Seeing that on the 4 hour as well. Got that brief dip into the green on money flow, maintaining right below that zero line there. So looking like that golden pocket might be that next launching point. I did miss that entry yesterday. Kicking myself just a little bit because I was ready for it. I was like, you know what? We get that push towards the upside. Golden pocket might be that nice little entry zone. And then I got super busy at work. I hate mining fiat sometimes. It makes me miss out on mining more fiat on some trades. But we do have a very strong resistance towards the upside at that 3,000, about 480. That's where we saw a lot of candle body closes here at the tops. So we will be looking for that topside action if we see Jerome Powell coming out with some negative news. That will give gold a nice strong push towards the upside because people are going to have a little bit less of a risk on sentiment and they're going to be looking for that security. That might also give Bitcoin that pump towards the upside. We did see a lot of your stocks looking at some green this morning. Look for a little bit of a sell-off after the news if Jerome Powell is negative, and look for that security to come on in on your assets like gold and silver and Bitcoin, because we've been seeing them move in tandem. So look for this 3,432 to be turned into some support. If we get that topside action, looking like that's a bit of a resistance area on the short-term time frame. I will get that one drawn out and a little bit thinner there. That is a bit of an area of resistance that we might need to turn into some support on the way up as we're looking at that prime oscillator, getting that curvature on the 15-minute, and your MACD getting that curvature on the 15-minute as well. It is 5:28 my time, and we've got 2 minutes. Let me switch it on over to our dual screen. I appreciate you showing up this morning, Joe. You didn't even have it planned, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought you were joking around. I was like, oh, in like an hour from now? You're like, no, in like 15 minutes. Oh, okay, let's go. Let's do it.
I saw you were live as I was getting prepped for my show, so I was like, you know what? We're gonna go harass Joe in the chat, and I was surprised. I was not expecting to wake up and see you live. You were live for like 3 hours. That's insane. My voice would not be able to handle that.
There was a show. Of course, Jesse was there, and my admins were there. There was a show, I think that was 2 weeks ago, where I did a 16-hour show. 16 hours, and I was talking for about 15 and a half hours of those. Like just nonstop, just going and going and going. And then like 30 minutes, I didn't talk because I literally ran out of stuff to say. It's like, all right, guys, let's listen to some music. So we're listening to some music, and then I come back on, I do another chart, and then we listen to another song, and I come back on. And I was like, all right, guys, we did 16 hours. And they're like, can you go for 24? I was like, I probably could, but unless y'all want to know about my life, like we went through charts and there's nothing else to say. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could probably go for 24 hours, but I'd start stalling out at about the same point, because it's like there's only so much to talk about. Like,
Right.
do y'all want to hear about how nerdy I can really get with these charts? Do you want to hear about how I code on some Pine script? And like that video that I dropped on my YouTube didn't get very many views, so I'm sure people don't want to hear about that. But
Right.
yeah, everyone talking about Joe is the new Jesse. He needs some sleep. Yeah, definitely. But it is about that time. I've got that redirect all set up. We will head right over towards that morning motivational video. I appreciate every single one of you that showed up. We had Mark Dutch in here, Donato Cabrera, Jesse, Crypto Billy, all set sliding in here at the end. We've got Darren Does Things showing on up. I appreciate you showing up. We've got Lasers Go Pew Pew as well. I appreciate you. I will see y'all at the morning motivational video here in just a second. We've got the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. The morning market report with Piper and OC, trades with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We've got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto. Make sure to check that one out if you need some help with some of those those theories on distribution and accumulation, because that man's a wizard with it. I know he talked about we might have seen that fifth wave come on down, and then we got that pop to the upside. So that man was talking about the upside movement before it ever happened, because he was looking at that Elliott wave theory. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Make sure to wake up today, because today's going to be a good day.